We will start by naming ionic compounds. Remember that ionic compounds form when a metal bonds with a nonmetal or a polyatomic ion. The simplest type of ionic compounds are formed when a metal cation bonds with a nonmetal anion. Let's follow the game plan with a couple examples here. I'm going to work through part B in the example in your notes. Okay, follow the game plan. AlCl3, ask yourself, is Al a metal or nonmetal? When we look at our periodic table, we see that Al is on the left of the staircase, so it is a metal. Now I chose Al as a specific example because it is not in group 1 or 2, and it is not a transition metal. Al is a rare exception. You need to remember for Al that you follow the group 1 or 2 pathway. So you use the name of the metal, aluminum, in this case. Now, is the anion a nonmetal or a polyatomic ion? Chlorine is a nonmetal. So we change the INE ending to IDE to come up with aluminum chloride. Pause the video and execute the game plan to name CSF and LIH. When you are ready, push play and the examples will flow through the chart. Now we have to go from a name to a formula using the other side of our flow chart. Follow the game plan. The first question is the same. Is the first element a metal or a nonmetal? Sodium is right here on the periodic table, so we know it is a metal. It is also in group 1, so we can follow this path in our flow chart. The first part of the symbol will be Na. Now we have to figure out what iodide is. An IDE ending tells us that iodide comes from the element iodine. An ATE or ITE ending would tell us we are dealing with a polyatomic ion. So we have to use the charges on the ions to figure out the final formula of the compound. Remember that the periodic table can help us determine the charges on the ions. All elements in group 1 form ions with a positive 1 charge. Group 2 elements create ions with a positive 2 charge. Group 3, a positive 3. Group 4, a positive or negative 4. Group 5, a negative 3. Group 6, negative 2. And finally, halogens or group 7 will create ions with a negative 1 charge. Iodine is a halogen, so it will form an ion with a negative 1 charge. Sodium is an alkali metal from group 1, so it will form an ion with a positive 1 charge. Remember that you can cross the charges to help determine the subscripts. So finally, we determine the formula for sodium iodide is NaI.